So it's like, if you don't have conviction about where you're going in life, and you don't have conviction about your direction and your thoughts and your strategies and your ideas, nobody else is going to believe it.
Hi, everybody. This is Carolina Millan, and welcome to a new episode of Beyond the Hustle. And today I'm here with CJ McMahon. He's joining me from the US. He's an expert in marketing, serial entrepreneur. He grows and scales businesses, and a lot of other cool stuff we're going to be talking about today. How are you, CJ? It's great to have you here.
I'm doing super well. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me today. And I'm sure you're going to add tremendous value to my audience, both in the English speaking world and also the Spanish speaking world.
That's the plan. That's the
plan. That's the plan. So first, let's get started with a little bit of background, just for the few people that might not be familiar with you yet. I would love to hear what was the turning point in your business and your career. Like, what were you doing before and what happened? What was the point of inflection that took you to where you are today?
Yeah, for sure. So about 5 years ago is when my transition occurred, from just like a normal day-to-day, like I was serving and bartending, and I actually slipped and fell and broke my back, and I couldn't walk for 6 months, and I was super depressed, super low. And my girlfriend that I'm still with, her name's Allie. She came home one day with a used MacBook Pro from the Facebook Marketplace and bought me a Amazon FBA course. So while I couldn't walk for 6 months, I laid in bed and built an Amazon FBA business. And it failed. And we were actually living in $100 a month attic at the time. So it was kind of like real rough time. I don't come from money. I come from like super humble beginnings. And so that failed. And then we were like, well, we don't have any money, so we have to move back in with our parents. So what we did is we moved back in with our parents, and I started another business. And that was an e-com brand. And within that e-com brand, it ended up failing again because I didn't have the money for it. So when I decided, I was like, listen, like you're a sales guy, like start selling sweat equity, like start leveraging your time to make money instead of leveraging inventory in the virtual world to make money. So instead of having high overhead and inventory and supply chain and all of that, I said, simplify it. What are you good at? And it's like, you're good at selling. Okay, sell a service. What service is it going to be? And I landed on marketing after I read Sabri Subi's book, Sell Like Crazy.
Good one.
Yeah, great one. And that was 3.5 years ago. So within that transition of me saying, hey, I'm going to start selling marketing service, I went from 0 to 40,000 a month in a week. And then I went from 40,000 to 100,000 within 45 days. And I was just like, well, that worked. So, when I started this business, I had probably maybe $1,000 in my bank account, maybe. So I didn't have any money to like advertise or market or anything. I like got scrappy and like, I was like, I'm gonna start cold calling people. So that's what I did. That's essentially the story. I remember like, when we first got our like first few clients, I don't know. I just remember breaking down and just crying and just being like, wow, everything is possible. You just have to continue to pivot and continue to like find that like passion and like motivation within. I think it's also like auditing the self and like being like, okay, cool. Like, what am I spending my time on? Like, why am I building a website? That's not fucking like bringing any money into my business. Like, I'm going to go out and sell. That's what brings money into my business. So that's what I did. I'm 26 years old now. When I started this, I was 23. And I now have 15 companies. I've pivoted my agency. I actually scaled that agency to 0 to 700,000 a month in 24 months.
Wow.
And then, yeah, which is pretty cool. And then I was like, okay, cool. What am I going to do? I'm going to start taking equity in these businesses I'm growing. That's what I did.
Sweet. No, that's really smart as well. And I love that you had a couple of failures. You were really young, by the way. I mean, I started when I was 24, so you started even earlier than I did.
Yeah.
So no, that's awesome that you didn't allow those failures to stop you, because you could have, been like, I'm just gonna get a job. So you didn't let that stop you. So I think that's really
Yeah.
remarkable at any
Thank you.
age. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
So that's great.
Yeah.
So I know that you're very well versed on, content creation. I saw you speak at Anik Singh's event, the Expert Summit. That's where we met, actually. And
Yep.
I was really blown away by what you shared when it comes to content creation. So what do you think are some of the keys, whether it's, no matter the platform, it could be TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, or whatever new thing comes along. What are
Yep.
some of the key strategies or the recipe, for a good piece of content that is going to convert more people into clients?
Yeah, so I think it starts out with diversifying yourself from the rest. So one of the things that I'm known for is like the mullet marketer. So like I have like a
You still
mullet,
have the mullet.
obviously. Yeah, oh yeah, that ain't going nowhere. And that's what I'm known for. And it allowed me to break through like in a significant way. My business was like stabilized at 125,000 a month or whatever. And as soon as I like was like, okay, I'm gonna start like pushing myself out there and like being the mullet guy. That's when my business took off. So my suggestion in terms of content production, it's not the editing. It's not like, it's none of that. It's like identifying within yourself, like, who do I want to be and what can make me different, right? So say, for instance, like say you own a company that does like marketing for construction companies, right? It's like, instead of sitting here and like, talking in front of a desk with a mic and doing like the Hermosi style videos, right? Instead of that, you're wearing a hard hat, you're wearing a yellow vest, and every single piece of content you put out, you're a construction guy speaking to construction guys. That's kind of like the styling that I would recommend, is just like embodying your target. So it's
Mm.
like, instead of being you servicing your target, be your target and service your target, if that makes sense.
That makes a lot
Does
of
that make
sense.
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like connecting with your target at a more, at the same level, and not trying to be like superior or something, or like.
Yeah, some people like when they're first starting out, they try to hold themselves to a certain standard that they
Yeah.
think their target's going to hold them to, but in reality, they just want authenticity and like true alignment. So
Mm.
that's kind of what I brought to the marketplace, and then like hundreds of people started copying the ways that I was going about it. So it's like it's all about alignment to the target, period. So it's like, as soon as you jump in a Lamborghini, you're distancing yourself from the people that want to align with you. People want connection, and like some people aren't connecting. And that's why, they're not growing. So that's kind of that's my 2 cents on it.
Exactly. No, I love that. I love that. I believe the same thing, that people are looking for authenticity. There are way too many people pretending out there and showing off, when, it just comes down to the messaging and connecting with
Yeah.
people. So I love that.
Yep.
So I know that as you just said, and for what I know about you, you love helping people scale. You love scaling businesses, particularly in the education and the knowledge space. So, what are some of the steps, or some of the keys, or some of the secrets that any business in the education and knowledge space needs to take in order to grow? Let's say somebody's making 5K, 10K a month. What do they need
Yep.
to do right now to double, triple that and scale?
Yep. So I think it comes down to like creating ease of entry for your target audience, and actually having something that's super valuable for them. So for instance, right, I own a business, it's called ATM Empire. Okay. And a lot of people in this space, right, are doing like coaching programs, like a done with you, right? And a lot of people in this space are like, how do we, I have to cash load this ATM. I have to do all these things, I have to do it myself. Um, Instead of that, I reversed that, and I was like, let's do a done for you ATM business where we source the locations, place the ATMs, service the ATMs, cash load the ATMs, everything done for you. And all you do is get a paycheck every single month passively. You don't even lift a finger. So it's all about the value on people's life and time, right? So say, for instance, it's like, you have a passive income offer, right? It's like you create passive income for people. Maybe it's real estate investing or whatever, and you teach people how to do it, right? Instead of that, right, it would be like, I'm going to go in on it with you, and I'm going to help you get your deals, seal the deals, and put tenants in the deals, completely done for you. Stuff like that is market breakage. Like you start to break and tap into like mass market and start to diversify yourself so much that it allows you to cut through with less ad spend. So, it comes down to like ease of entry in the psyche is like, how do we make this make so much sense that it's hard to say no? And I know it's hard to like do that, but every single business that I'm in, it's a no-brainer. Like I would buy it off of first view. You're like, okay, cool. Like we have a business called Contractor Accelerators. Okay. And one of the offer is that we recruit, place, vet, and train sales reps into home service businesses. And the biggest thing in home service is that they can't find reps. So it's like we literally place them in their business completely done for them. So stuff like that, right? It's like you take the headache away by offering a service. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's my suggestion. I don't think there's a secret sauce. I think it's just thinking about your target audience and understanding like, hey, like these people want to get to their destination, and how do I get them to their destination with least resistance, essentially? So
absolutely. And how do you do that? Let's say, because what I hear it's doing a lot of done for you, right? Where you do a lot of the heavy lifting for your clients. What do you do if you don't have a team? Like, let's say it's just one person. What's your advice for somebody starting out where maybe they don't have the manpower to do a lot of, of the heavy lifting for a client? Where would you start?
Yeah, it really depends on like the business model. Like, what is the business? Say you're a one-man show in a marketing agency, right? Like, go out there and cold call and sell and then hire. You know what I mean? And like, just like, you don't have to be like super prepared all the time. Like, go out, sell, use that money to get an employee. Bang, transition. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? So, and then in terms of like, there's another route that I think that I've been utilizing a ton is, so in the done for you ATM business side, ATM Empire, I approached my partner in that business. And I was like, hey man, like, cause he owns 1,500 ATMs and he's completely national. So he has, warehouses and 180 employees and all that stuff. And, I was just like, hey man, like this infrastructure that you have, that you're doing it for yourself, right? Why are we teaching people how to do this? Why don't we just do it for them? And I leveraged his infrastructure instantly. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. So I think it's also joint ventures is like really important. Like leveraging your network. If you don't have a network, go to a mastermind. Like go out there and socialize. Like I think that the power is like masterminds and stuff like that. It's probably the cheapest way to build a network, I would imagine. I did it through ads. So I built this giant personal brand and I have 35 million views on my face through TikTok ads, but like, it doesn't have to be that expensive, that's kind of like how there's like two double-edged sword. There's like one, I've already been there and done that and done the one-man show and built an agency and bootstrapped it. And then I've done the joint ventures and been able to acquire businesses and start businesses from the ground based on other people's infrastructure. So, I think it's both. And if you notice, like everything that I talk about is all service-based. It's not product-based.
Yeah.
So it's all about serving people in the service industry because you can leverage sweat equity to grow it instead of needing $100,000 in capital or $500,000 in capital to buy inventory and do all that shit. So.
No, absolutely. I love that. And that's really smart too. Like finding clients where they have the infrastructure, and what you do is, you come with the ideas and you help them leverage that, and build something bigger from there. Also getting the deal first and then hiring help. That's also very smart.
People
No, I
think
love
too
that.
much. I think
Yeah,
people think too much
I
at the
agree.
beginning. They
Yeah.
limit themselves, like straight up. Like everybody says, well, I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's lack of belief in the self, period. So it's like, if you don't have conviction about where you're going in life and you don't have conviction about your direction and your thoughts and your strategies and your ideas, nobody else is going to believe them. So my thought is that, like, I was like, I know that I can sell people. I know I can service them. And I didn't have employees at that point. So like, I literally almost was like, I don't know, I believed so much that I knew that I could sign clients on and I could find employees to do it. And that's how I got started. So
I love that.